Good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing? Welcome to another live session on my channel, Flourish and Thrive with EA. You are doing, I hope you're doing good and I hope you're fine. My name is Elizabeth Akiniyi. I am a relationship and marriage therapist. So, without wasting time, let's get to what I want to talk about today. And I want to continue from where I stopped 2 weeks ago about attachment styles in relationship. So today I'll be talking about another type of attachment style, and that is the avoidant attachment style. I have come again with another one. Hey, it is well. This one is going to really fascinate you. Yes, we have people with the avoidant attachment style. So when we say somebody is having an avoidant attachment style, what does it mean? But first of all, before I actually start talking about the avoidance attachment style, in the description section, I had to put in the description section, I think at the bottom part of it, you will see a link there. So if you don't know your attachment style in a relationship, this is the time for you to do it. So you can go to the description section, check for the link and take the attachment style quiz test. So in that way, you know what you are. Maybe you are the secure, maybe you are the avoidance, maybe you are the anxious or the fearful avoidance. So you know. So let's get to what we want to talk about. That is the avoidance attachment style in relationship. So when we say somebody is having an avoidance attachment style, what does it mean? People with the avoidance attachment style are people that are hyper independent people. There's a difference between being independent, over independent. They are hyper independent. They don't need anybody. They are the kind of people, they rely so much on themselves, so they are closed up in within themselves. They avoid intimacy. They avoid closeness in a relationship. They are not bad people. They are quite good and loving people. But the problem with them is just that when people begin to get close to them, it becomes uncomfortable. So as a result, they start to pull away. I don't know, maybe you're understanding what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Maybe you've been in a relationship with somebody, whether it might be a work relationship, maybe it might be a romantic relationship, whatever relationship it might be. You find out that those people, they are so strong, they are so independent, they don't need anything from anybody. It is very difficult for them to ask favors from people. And when you try to get so close to them, they begin to move away. Even if you try to be their friend, or if you try to be their friend, they will be your friend. But when you start getting intimate, you want to talk about the matters of the heart, or you want to talk about feelings, they don't share their feelings. That's just how they are. They can talk about work, they can talk about hobbies, they can hang out with people, they can make friends with people, play with people. But when it comes to going deep or having a close inner relationship, it becomes a problem for them. So they're the kind of people, they love their personal space a lot. So you might be in a relationship with somebody, maybe they are your boyfriend or maybe they might be your girlfriend, and you might send them a message. You might send them a message. It might take forever before they would actually check your message. It might take hours, sometimes it might take days. And when they eventually check your messages or read your messages, some of them are reply, they will reply you, they will reply back without referring to why they took long to reply back to your message. And when you try to talk about it, they dismiss your feelings. They tell you, no, you are making things all up, you are thinking things are not the way it's supposed to be. So they make things all up, they dismiss your feelings. So it's not their fault, it is the way they were brought up. It is the way they were made to see love and relationship, which had an impact on them. So, and most times, partners of such people tend to become lonely. Tend to become unseen. They tend to become unheard. Even in conflict, sometimes with this kind of people, with this kind of people with that attachment style, when there is an argument between them and their partner, they tend to keep the silence treatments. They will not see anything. They will tend to keep the silence treatments and pretend like as if, and just move on after some hours, like as if nothing happened. And you will be like, you want to talk about this, they will tell you there's nothing to talk about, there's nothing you have to talk about, there's nothing you need to talk about. And you will be looking at why is it saying, or why is she saying there's nothing to talk about? They always dismiss your feelings. So that's the way they are. It's not their fault, it is the way they were brought up. It is the relationship they had with their parents that made them to become like that. You remember last 2 weeks I said attachment style develops develops by the way our caregivers brought us, or the kind of um relationship we had with our parents. So if the relationship we had with our parents was not really the way our caregiver took care of us, our parents, if they didn't give us much love, much attention, or their love was inconsistent, or they were abusive, or you had to be the one that had to be the parent as a child, it has an impact. So that is one of the things that happen to them. So for the avoidance attachment style, somebody with that, at a very tender age, they had to learn to grow up. There are several reasons. So I'm going to start with the issue of what we call parentification. They had to be the parent as a child. So a situation, let's look at it at this situation whereby the child has to take up adult responsibility at a child age, because maybe they lost one of the parents, maybe the father died and the mother is not doing well enough. So the most eldest child sometimes will have to be the one to cater for his or her own needs while also helping the younger siblings. So the child is taking off excessive responsibility, acting as the parent. So in that kind of situation, the child becomes a parent. So the child grows up to think that I am responsible for everybody. I am taking care of everybody. So the child loses his or her childhood and starts behaving like an adult, even though they are a child. So, as such a situation, the child will have to learn to bottle up so many emotions. They will have to learn to bottle up everything going inside of them. So, they develop this independence right from their childhood. So because they've learned not to rely on anybody, they don't have anybody they can depend upon, because the death of their father took their independence from them, because the mother could not provide for them. So you have such a situation. And another thing I notice is that mostly parents that will actually tell their male child to always be a man, there's implication. Because every time you tell a man, you tell a boy child who is trying to be vulnerable, trying to express his feelings and say, oh, mom, this is how I feel, you dismiss their feelings and you tell them you have to toughen up. You have to toughen up. Every time you know you were a man, you have to behave like a man. Boys don't cry, men don't cry. You have to become a man. And each time you try to cry or try to express your feelings, maybe they jeer at you, they laugh at you, or they scold you for for crying or for being vulnerable, or call you names for being vulnerable. Such a child will learn to to think that the best thing I can do is to repress my feelings. That expressing my feelings will make them jeer at me. Expressing my feelings will get me beaten. So as a result, the child doesn't want to be beaten or to be criticized or jeered at. So such a child will learn to develop repression, by having a sense of, what do they call it, inner independence. So being responsible for the way they feel, being responsible for the way for their emotional, what is it called, their emotional life. Because the parents that should be there with them to deal with them, to actually help them with their emotional life, or to help them with their emotional life, is emotionally unavailable. So it happens mostly to children that their parents are not there, they are not there for them, whether it might be emotionally, it might be mentally, it might be physically, it might be financially sometimes. Because when a child has to grow up at a certain age, when they're still supposed to be dependent on their parents, so they take up adult responsibility, they tend to build this, what is it called, they tend to build up this independence, because by the time they start growing up and they start doing the things that adults can do, and they start seeing the result, they begin to have the feelings that I don't need anybody, I can do it by myself, what the hell. And we have a situation whereby some parents, they emotionally and mentally, they are not there for their children, but rather it is the children that are there for the parents. Maybe you have a drunk dad, or your parents are not there, maybe something is actually wrong with them. They might be physically, they might be sick, so you have to be the one to be the parents to console them. They depend on you for consolation, because you'll be the one to console them, you'll be the one to advise them, you'll be the one to make food for your younger siblings. The child begins to develop a sense of independence, because he or she believes that everybody is relying on me to feel good. My siblings are relying on me to feel good. My parents are relying on me to feel good. So they grow up with this sense of independence. Most of this time, so they bottled up everything that is inside of them. They bottle up everything that is inside of them. This situation I talked about can manifest in two ways. It's either they become the avoidant person, or they eventually become somebody who is actually a people's pleaser. So they are the ones taking up everybody's case, they are the ones taking care of everybody, they are the ones handling all situations. Everybody will call them the strong man, the strong woman. They are always in charge. But when it comes to talking about intimate issues, they can help you solve your problems. When it comes to work, they are very effective. When it comes to solving so many problems or doing so many things, they are very effective. But talk about relationship, talk about intimacy, they black away. They are not ready to talk about it, because their head is calculating. They are calculating. Maybe they are calculating the amount of money they will make if for this business. They are very, very hyperactive, so they can make decisions they are very good decision makers. They can make decisions by their own. They don't need anybody to make decisions for them. They are in their place of work. They are very, very effective, very, very effective, and most times people love them. But when people want to get so close to them or have a more closer relationship, they tend to run away. So most of the time, those such people, they actually love a surface relationship. They love a relationship we call situationship. So if you've ever been in a relationship with somebody whereby they avoid closeness, they avoid intimacy, you want to talk about moving your relationship to the next stage. They give you excuses. They tell you things. Oh, I'm busy. They will always look for something, that they will always come up with something. Then you might be dealing with somebody with the avoidant attachment style. They cancel dates, well, because when they realize that this date is getting incessant, is continuous, they begin to get uncomfortable. Let me put it this way: continuous call, you call them today, you call them tomorrow, or you find out that they will start getting uncomfortable, especially if it's a man. If it's a man, maybe ladies, you've been in a relationship with a man whereby 2-3 days is not going to call you. 2-3 days is not going to call you, a week is not going to call you, and when you ask him, he doesn't see anything wrong in it, and before you know it, he dismisses it. So each time you want to talk about it, that why don't you communicate? When are we going to go out for lunch? When are we going to have a nice time together? He comes up with excuses. It's not that he doesn't love you, but the problem is that he is having a problem, and that's the problem, is the attachment style that he has. His sense of over independence, over reliance upon himself is a problem. So most of the time, they don't need advice from anybody. Even in relationship, they make decisions by themselves. Even in marriage, they make decisions by themselves. They don't ask their spouse for anything before they do anything. They make decisions, they do everything. And in the case of marriage, marriage is supposed to be two independent people coming together to form an interdependent relationship. So when one person is independent and the other person is independent and they are not coming together to form an interdependent relationship, that is when conflict will arise. That is when conflict will arise, and all sort of situation that shouldn't be begins to arise in the relationship. And that's why most of these reasons why love will fade away in that relationship, and that might give way to extramarital affairs. That might give way to all sort of things that might happen in the relationship. Some might say, my husband is not loving, my husband is so cold, my husband, he doesn't even have time to interact with the kids whenever he's around. I know somebody who was actually complaining about it. The lady was actually traumatized. When the husband was always around in the house, it's not there. It's not. He might be there physically, but he doesn't have time for her. It's either he's on his laptop and working, and if he's not working on his laptop, he's going to a full-grown man of almost 40 years will actually sit down in front of the television, carry his video game and start playing game alone. His children will they be there playing, he doesn't see them. The lady was complaining that they don't have a family time, they don't have time to do anything, that they don't do anything together. And that person is a very close person to me. So I was like wondering, didn't you see all this sign before you decided to say I do? She said, oh, she just thought maybe it was gonna change. No. And I like, the best thing for both of you to do is to go for therapy, because the guy has a problem and it's actually having an effect on you. And the lady was actually thinking of getting a divorce. So you can see the severity of somebody who has an avoidant attachment style. They drive their partners crazy. They make their partners move out. They make their partners move out of the house for them, or engage in extramarital affair, or sometimes they might even want a divorce. Or the lady might actually become aggressive. There will be so much problem, there will be so much arguments and conflicts in the house, and love, there will be no more love. But the woman will not see anything wrong in it. So most of the time they give the lady silent treatment, and after some few hours they just act like as if everything is over. Some of them might decide, okay, let me make it up to her by buying her a gift. So they feel like buying her a gift is the best way to actually solve the problem. They give her a gift, and that's the end. They won't talk about it again. But he keeps repeating the same pattern time and time again. So if you have such a partner in your life, the best thing to do is to advise them to go for therapy. That's the best thing you can advise them to do, so that they can go back to their childhood to understand what's happened to them in their childhood that made them become the way they are. So that is one thing I would advise any couple facing such a situation. You don't have to leave them. You don't have to divorce them. Neither do you have to go into extramarital affair. This is a case that is solvable. It is solvable. So that is what you can do. So let me talk about the signs. What are the signs of somebody with the avoidance attachment style? From what I've said so far, I think you should be able to get some of the signs. And some of the signs are, they find it very difficult to express their feelings. They do, oh, they find it very difficult to express their feelings, and that's because they've been made to believe that they, right from childhood, they've been responsible for their feelings. Because when they want to express how they feel, their parents will dismiss them. Or whereby you are in a house whereby it is only when you toughen up, you behave as the strong one, that is when your parents will actually cheer you on. It helps you to toughen up and helps to repress your feelings, and make you feel, oh, I am tough. So parents that are in the habit of actually telling your male child, you are a man, you have to toughen up, you are causing problem for another lady, for another woman's child. You are raising up a problem for another woman's child. I'm saying it and I will say it again. You are raising up a problem for another woman's child, because when that child grows up and becomes a man, he becomes bottled up, he becomes bottled up to himself, over independent, hyper independent. It becomes a problem to the wife. It becomes a problem to the wife. It becomes a problem to the children. So in such a situation, always allow your boy child at their tender age to be vulnerable. Allow them to express their feelings, because One thing I noticed about parents is that, about culture, about society, is that they always tend to say a boy child should behave this way, a girl child should behave this way. No, they bring in the issue of gender, and as a result they begin to put in things into those child, and begin to shape the way a child thinks. And most of the time, the formative stage of a child, whereby a child begins to develop and take things, is actually in their is from the ages to 0 to 7, because those are the developmental stage. And after that stage, they begin to get, or they begin, everything you tell them, everything you do, they see it, they learn it, they keep it in their brain, so it's all stored. It's like a computer. So when you tell them a boy child has to toughen up, a boy is crying and you are telling him you don't have to cry. You have to learn to toughen up. Even when he cries, you beat him. You are making a problem for another woman's daughter in some few years to come, maybe 20 years or 30 years to come, because it's going to grow up like that and begin believe that you have to toughen up as a man. So he has to be independent. You have to be strong. A man has to be strong. A man has to be the one to defend the whole house. Everybody has a right to express their feelings. Everybody has a right to be vulnerable. Don't say because they are children, then they don't have to be vulnerable. They have to be vulnerable. In that way, they are dependent upon you. That is when they grow up, they are able to, what did they, I don't know how I'm going to put it. They will feel, have a safe place to express their feelings, to express their feelings without feeling stifled. And in such a way, it promotes communication in a relationship, because people with the avoidance attachment style don't like to communicate. Their communication is on the surface level. When you want to go into deep communication, it becomes a very difficult thing for them. It's like as if it's choking them up. It's like as if it's stifling them up. They just want to breathe. They just want to breathe. That is exactly what is happening. So they feel that if they express their feelings, they will be considered weak. Yes, they will be considered weak. So in such a way, expressing their feelings is a sign of weakness. So they have to learn to toughen up, even in relationship, even in marriages. You find some people, they can't tell you anything about themselves, about their, except their work, or the things they love to do. Talk about their family, talk about their relationship, it becomes a problem. And when you want to go deep, they begin to pull away. Yes, I've had friends like that. I've had friends like that, so I know. And I've had people who are married to people like that. It is not, they went through hell. Some even divorced. So one of the things you need to know is that people with the avoidant attachment style, they find it very difficult to express their feelings. That's one of the things that happens to them. They find it very difficult to express their feelings. And secondly, when a relationship becomes too close, they tend to pull away because they love their personal space. Chai, they are the kind of people, when they stay in a compound, they like to mind their own business. They don't like people interfering in their lives. If you like, come and knock their door. They will open the door, they will ask you, what do you want? Once it's done, they are going to lock the gate. They don't like moving too deep into relationship whereby I don't know how I'm going to put it. They don't like moving close into deep into people. No, no, they prefer, they want everything to be in the surface. Don't talk about matters of the heart. Don't talk about matters that would actually anything that will make them vulnerable. They will begin to pull away from you, because they see it as a sign of weakness. Like I said, they see it as a sign of weakness. So they find it very difficult to talk about anything that pertains to them, or any intimate issue. So if you're in a relationship with such a person and you're saying, okay, we've been in this relationship for some time now, and I think we need to move to the next stage of our relationship. So what do we want? Let's set up our relationship goals. Let's set up what are the things we want for our relationship. When you begin to move into the intimate part, they are not going to talk about it. Or you want to know about their background, or you want to know about their families, or you want to know about the matters of the act, they will never open up to you. And when you try to pull, they will pull away, because they don't they are the kind of people, they love their personal space. That is the third sign. They are the kind of people, they have a large personal space. They will tell you, give me my space. You are actually crouching on me. You call them once or twice or thrice in a day, it becomes a problem. They will tell you, you are not allowing me to concentrate. You are not allowing me to focus on myself. So most of the time, most of them, they hide under the umbrella of work and hobbies. They will tell you they are busy and busy and busy. They will actually arrange the days, and they will forget. They would actually leave you standing at the table waiting for them. And by the time you're going to call them, they are going to tell you they are still in the office and they can't make it. And it can be so annoying. So annoying. So, and they keep doing it every time. And when you talk about it, the worst part of it is that they are going to dismiss it. They are going to tell you it's nothing. I'm just busy. They're going to tell you, I'm just busy. So that's just how they are. So they have this large personal space. They like to be alone by themselves. They do things, or they do everything all alone by themselves. They enjoy their personal space. They don't need anything from anybody. They have this no guard, and I don't need anyone. I'm okay by myself. That's the kind of person that they are. I don't need anybody. I'm okay by myself. I'm good by myself. So another thing they do is that they hide under the umbrella of work and hobbies to avoid intimacy. They are always, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm at work. They are actually workaholics. They like to work a lot. Their work, their career is more important than any other thing. So that's just how they are. So if you're somebody and you're seeing all these signs I'm mentioning, and you're looking at yourself, and you're looking at it that all what she's saying so far is just about me, it's time you need to take the attachment style quiz. Go into the description section, go down to the bottom. You will see the link there. I actually pasted the link. Click on the link and take the test. It will actually determine, you will actually know what is your attachment style in a relationship, and how to heal from it. So I'll be talking about how to heal from it too. So all of you, just stay tuned. Just calm down, calm down, calm down. So they are the kind of people, they hide under the umbrella of work. They hide under the umbrella of work. They miss dates. They don't have time. They instead that they actually they would actually find wanting to make an excuse. They would rather prefer to be alone than to hang around with you. And when they are hanging around with you, please don't just go intimate. Don't just begin to talk about the matters of the, and they don't have the capability to communicate. No. And don't try to make decisions for them. It's a problem. Don't try to make decisions for them, because they don't need your advice. So they're telling you their problems. Even when they have a problem, they will always look for a way to solve it by themselves. So you having a they're having a problem, and they're seeking your help, makes them feel weak. They're gonna feel weak. They're gonna feel like as if, oh, I did. Some of them I feel like a failure. Some of them I feel like as if they're a burden to you, because they've learned to always be in charge. So most of the time they are always toughened up. Maybe you have somebody like that in your family. They are the ones, they are always toughened up. They don't, sometimes they don't smile, sometimes they don't like their face is all roughened up like this. They don't they are always the one always making all the decisions. They are always the one always doing everything. You can't come so close to them. They can't express their feelings. Sometimes they will call them strong man, strong woman, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith. They will call them a man of steel. They are not strong. Deep within of them, they long for love. But when the love comes to them, they begin to get stifled. It becomes uncomfortable. So that is just the way they are, and it's not their fault. Most of the time, they are loving people. It doesn't make them a bad person. They are loving people. They are, some of them are even kind at they are kind hearted. They are loving. They might be understanding, but the problem with them is just that showing their emotions is a sign of weakness. So when they see somebody being vulnerable, showing their emotion, they see that person as being weak. When they see somebody talking about intimate situation, talking about their personal self or try, they see that person as being weak. They count them as being weak, and as a result, they move away from them because once they stay around such people, they it makes them to, what do they call it? It makes them uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable because it is actually stirring up an inner thing in within them, the inner wound that they've covered up. So it's actually stirring it up to the surface, and as a result, it makes them uncomfortable, and they don't want to address it. They don't want to address it. So if eventually they are able to open up, you'll find out that they are bottling up so many things inside of them, so many things inside of them, so many things that happen to them in childhood. So when you are parents, be careful of how you treat your child. Don't make your child take up adult role as a child. There are some parents, they are in the habit of actually allowing their children at a very tender age to start doing things an adult should do. Yes, I've seen the way some parents bring up their children on social media, and I'm like, this is a ticking time bomb. This is a ticking time bomb, because when this child grows up, there's going to be problem. It's either they create a problem for themselves, or they create a problem to the society, or they become a problem to their husband or their wives or their children. Most problems you see today that happens are started from the family. A problem that is not well treated by the parents generates into a regional or community problem. A community problem generates into a regional problem, and a regional problem becomes something that becomes a cultural problem. People that are a menace to the society today. It didn't just happen just today. It started from childhood. Your attachment style will determine the way you behave, the way you react to people, the way your parents treated you will determine the way you see the world, the way you interact with people. It's your programming. It was what you were made to believe in. It was what your parents gave to you, which you took in within of yourself. So it's an hard drive. So it is there stored in the part of the brain. So that is what directs the way you behave. So parents that are in the habits of telling your male child that you were a man, you have to be strong. Please stop. Allow your male child to be vulnerable. If they are crying, let them cry. Hear them out. Don't always dismiss their feeling. And don't make tell the girl child that you are a girl, so this is what you have to do. You don't have to act like a man. Please stop it. It is wrong, because you are shaping your child for tomorrow. Like I would always say, like my coach will say, you are not raising your child for yourself. You are raising your child for the society. So when you raise your child in a way that becomes a problem to another woman in a relationship, or to another man in a relationship, you are actually one of the contributing factors. So people with the avoidant attachment style, it arises, like I said, it arises from children taking up the role of adults, taking up the role of an adult because their parents died, or maybe it happens mostly to firstborns. Some firstborns, they have to be the one, maybe their parents are not doing well enough, the father and the mother. The firstborn has to be the one to take care of all the siblings. Maybe the firstborn maybe they have come from a poor family, and the firstborn will have to drop out of school and will have to go and work and do also work. The firstborn is the one responsible for taking care of the younger siblings, and as a result, such a person begins to develop this sense of independence, that I don't need my parents, I don't need anybody, I'm the one taking care of them. So they rely mostly on themselves because they don't have anyone. They don't have anyone to share their feelings with. They don't have anyone to talk about anything. To right from childhood, nobody wants to hear them. So they have to learn to bottle it all up. So they are the ones that they can only talk to themselves. They can only sometimes sometimes they can talk to God. But when a child does not know, does not even know anything about God or anything, most of what does a child know? So the child will learn to repress his or her feelings, and that is where it happens. They learn to toughen up. So stop telling your male child toughen up. Stop telling your male child toughen up and repeating it again. Parents, understand your role as parents and don't allow your children to take up your role as a parent. You might be down for some time, you might be in a situation, but in a situation whereby you are the one that's supposed to take care of the child, you are supposed to want to comfort the child there's not a reversal. It is the child that is comforting you. It is the child that has to clean your mess as a parent. It's wrong. It's wrong. That is where the avoidant attachment style takes place. There are other examples I didn't mention. There are other things that I didn't mention. Like my own dad will tell you, be seen and not be heard. My dad knows how to do that. It dismisses your feelings a lot. And it's really had an impact on me. Most of my younger siblings they actually have the avoidant attachment style, and it took some time before they could come out of it. When you try to get so close to them or try to talk or intimate issues, they know how to dismiss it immediately. They just know how to. They will just say, "Don't talk about it, please carry it away." Even if you're trying to show your emotion, they will tell you you are too emotional. That's when you are too emotional. You are too sensitive. You will hear sentences like that. You are too emotional. You are too sensitive. You're always making everything up. Then to toughen up sometimes. I'm like, I'm not like you. I have learned to be vulnerable. I've learned to break out of that cycle. So when they started growing at a certain age and they started mingling with people and they started noticing that they were having problems in their relationship. That was when they decided to change. And that was when they realized that they started having better relationship with people. Because people are gonna misread you. People are not gonna understand what is really wrong with you. They're gonna misread you. They're gonna think you're just being uh you are just being proud. You know, Africans and their what is it called? They will come up with different theories immediately. Gang, gang, gang. They will come up with it. And most importantly, when such a person marries, it is the spouse that will suffer it, because they will continue to shut the emotions of their spouse. They won't allow the spouse to express their feeling. They will say she's too sensitive, she's always this, she's dramatic. Yes, I remember. She's dramatic, always coming up with different drama. So I don't know, maybe what I'm saying resonates with all of you, or maybe what I'm actually saying, you're actually getting what I'm actually saying, but that is exactly how it is. So far, if you have the avoidant attachment style, how do you heal from it? So I'm just going to just talk about them roughly because I'm going to leave here very soon. So one of the things you can do is to acknowledge, I will come into acknowledgement, or let me put it, self-awareness. It is when you are aware you have a problem, that is when you can actually solve it. So for self-awareness, I'm saying it again, go into the description box, check into the description box. You will see the link there. Take the attachment style quiz. In that way, you will know your attachment style. That makes it easier for you. So if you fall into the avoidant attachment style, then listen attentively to what I have to say. So you coming to the awareness that yes, I have the avoidant attachment style, and after coming to the awareness, try to be vulnerable. That's what, be vulnerable enough to acknowledge what went wrong with you that made you become like this, because it started from somewhere. So you have to be vulnerable enough, be sincere enough with yourself to say that you need help, that you can't do it alone. You need help. This is why I advise you need to look for a good therapist. Don't just look for any therapist, a good therapist that will guide you along the way. The third thing you can actually do is that you need to actually let go of this mindset that I don't need anybody. Yes, they always come up with this, that I don't need anybody. Like I will tell you, and like I will tell some of my clients in my sessions that imagine that you are the only one in this world. Everybody, there's nobody in this world. And not like, how will you survive? Just imagine you waking up and you coming out, you can't find your neighbors, you can't find everybody everywhere, everything is all gone. Everything is all gone. You get to your place of work, nobody is there. How would you survive for that day? Because fine, you might have the money. When you get to the grocery stores, will you just go there? You might have the money. Who is going to attend to you? Who is going to attend to every of your needs throughout that whole day? Just imagine yourself in that situation. Imagine yourself in that scenario. And most of the time, that is what makes them come to the realization and say, oh, like, so you need to let go of of that mindset that I don't need anybody. We all need people in our lives. Nobody can be a loner. Look at the trees in the forest. It doesn't make one tree to make a forest. It takes different kinds of trees to make a forest. You can't be the one to make your clothes by yourself. You can't be the one to cook your food by yourself. Fine, if you cook your food by yourself, are you also the one that is going to produce the food? Are you the farmer that is going to produce the food? Are you the one that is also going to process it and package it and take it to the grocery store? You can't do it alone by yourself. So you need to understand that you need people in your life. So you having this mindset that I don't need anybody, you need to challenge that thought. Challenge that thought and replace it with that it is okay to be around people. It is okay to be around people. You need to begin to change the way you think and understand that it is okay to need people. It is okay to be around people. It is okay to need people. So that is the third thing you can actually do. Then the next thing is try to be vulnerable. Begin to do it step by step. Take it one step at a time. Don't rush. Make sure what you're going to tell somebody is something that, or let me put it this way, make sure the person you are going to share whatever you want to share is somebody you can trust, because it is quite important. Don't share your secrets or whatever you want to say with somebody that does not have that emotional capacity to carry what you want to say, because it's going to boomerang. Because when you tell them something and at the end of the day they eventually now use it against you, it boomerangs, because it's going to make your situation worse. Because when you tell them something and they now use it against you, or they use it to insult you in days or months or years to come, it is actually, or you tell them something and they go ahead and tell another person and you finally hear it from another person, it's going to make you come to the conclusion that no, I don't need to share my secret with anyone. I don't need anyone. You come back into your shell again. So make sure, if you're going to be vulnerable, share your secrets with somebody you can trust, somebody that has emotional capacity to bear what you want to say, and somebody that has the emotional maturity, somebody you can really, really, really trust. That is the kind of person you should talk to. So, and you start sharing bits of yourself, bit by bit. When you start sharing bits of yourself, see bit by bit, you find out that people will start warming up to you. When they see that you are beginning to warm up to people bit by bit, they begin to you begin to form a bond with them. So that is just how it is. So, and another thing you can actually do is don't dismiss people's feelings when they talk to you. When people are hearing a concern, something that is hurting them, sit down and listen actively. Don't try to cut them short along the way. Don't try to dismiss whatever they have to say. Listen to whatever they have to say without interrupting them. Don't use that as a time as they are talking, you are on your phone. Don't. Look them straight in the eye, let them talk. Sometimes not to show that yes, you're listening to them. So it helps them to feel carried along. And when they finish hearing, and when you finish hearing what they have to say, this is a time for you to honestly express yourself. Try to speak from the heart. Don't try to dismiss their feelings. And if you know you don't have anything to say, the best thing you can actually do it. Maybe you can give them a hug, but don't try to dismiss their feelings. Or you can actually hold their hands and pat their hands, but trying to shut them off, it's not right. So those are the things you can actually do to help you heal. And when you start doing that, you find out that gradually, that gap between you and your loved ones and your spouse will begin to shorten bit by bit. And that is when you guys can actually form a bond, because most people with avoidant attachment style, they don't form a bond with their partner. There's no emotional bond between them and their spouse. They don't have it. They don't like closeness. They don't like emotional intimacy. That's the problem they have. They don't like emotional intimacy. Expressing their emotions is a problem for them, so they bottle it up. So that is what I'll be talking about today, oh my guys. So thank you guys for staying here with me. I hope you've been able to get value for your time. I hope what I've said so far, you've been able to find value from it. So thank you very much. Like I said earlier, you can go into the description section and actually take the attachment style quiz test. So it will help you to know what is your attachment style. So by next week we'll be talking about the last attachment style, and that is the fearful avoidant attachment style. So that is what I'll be talking about in my next live session. That's what I'll be talking about by next week. So stay tuned with me next week by 4 p.m. I'll be actually be talking about the last attachment style before I move over to the secure attachment style, and I eventually move over to the next subsequent weeks into attachment style and codependency, how it actually forms. All those things I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to talk about them. So that's what I'll be talking about. I'll be talking about in the subsequent weeks. So, guys, thank you very much. I want to say thank you to everyone who has been watching. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you very much. I'm sorry that I've been offline. I was just busy. I'm just busy. I think I need to get a PE. Yeah, so I need to get a PE or a social manager. He's gonna help me handle all my social media handles, because I had a lot on my, what is it called, on my shoulders, and I couldn't even just make videos. So it was, even to come and do my live session, I couldn't make my Monday videos, my meditation videos. I couldn't. I was so busy. So I'm even thinking maybe I should actually get a social media manager or get a personal assistant. He's gonna help me take care of all my social media, what is it called, social media handles, and help me post my videos, so that you guys won't have to miss it. And so I'm very, very sorry. So we started back again. We're resuming. So, guys, I want to say thank you to everyone who has watched. Thank you to all my subscribers. And if you've not yet subscribed, I beg, what are you waiting for? Go down right now into the what is it called, into my channel page, or say watching this video. Abeg, I want you to go straight and click on the subscribe button. Not only click on the subscribe button, make sure you click also on the notification bell. Abeg, make my channel grow. It is well. So subscribe to my channel, click on the notification, and to get the updates when I make a new video. So, guys, thank you for watching, and I want you to know that healing from the avoidant attachment style is easy. You can actually move from the insecure to the secure if you are able to be aware of your attachment style and you come to the awareness, and you've been able to acknowledge it, and you take small gradual step. Most importantly, go for therapy. Oh, don't try to do it alone. Go for therapy. It's quite important. So take care of yourself, guys. I'll see you by next week. Do have a nice day. Bye.